Hey Capricorn, it's Romy. Welcome to my channel. This is your October 2021 soul story. If you've got a sun rising or moon, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to give you some clarity. We're going to break the energies down and just help you to feel a little bit more empowered and confident in trusting yourself as you navigate your way through the next few weeks. So we're going to open up your reading with the energy of the Two of Pentacles. And for me, what's coming through for Capricorn in October is that what has felt like a burden is about to become a blessing. And, through Libra energy, which is lighting up that 10th house of career ambition, but most importantly, it's like the legacy that you want to leave in the world, the imprint that you create energetically, how you make people feel when you've left the room. And, there may have been times where you felt like you have been juggling, that you have felt you've had so many priorities and trying to kind of keep something alive, keep something burning, making more time for yourself, or, just trying to find a way to kind of really bring everything into the picture of what you want to be your life. And, some of that investment isn't always immediately rewarded to us. It's not shown instantaneously in those manifestations that we are working diligently towards. And so it can feel like a burden. It can feel like, why am I investing so much time, so much energy, so much of myself into this relationship, into this, project, this business, this job, this family? And there's something about the way in which you are finally through the month of October, able to connect the dots for yourself and see really that this purpose is even so much bigger than you, that there are things that you are learning at soul level, at karmic level, that really is a blessing for you. And if you can step forward with this understanding of the endurance that's been given to you, of the wisdom that is emerging from you, of the stillness that is available to you, and the vision that's really being created, then you are really ascending to extraordinary new levels. Now, the energy of the Lovers coming through links into the sign of Gemini, so that might be important, but it also talks to me about that sense of duality. Even with the Two of Pentacles, it's like, okay, here's the life that I'm working towards, but here's what my practical existence is actually at this moment in time. And how do I bridge the gap? You have to move through October, Capricorn, by making everything personal. You have to stop proving or trying to prove to other people, to anybody else. You have to return home to what the picture is that's emerging as you connect the dots and what it means for you specifically. And if you can come forward with a sense of resolute commitment to that vision, then I see you coming into harmony and union with yourself. And that's really important because you need to be strong this month. Not only do you need to be strong for yourself, you need to be strong for other people, because on an emotional level, there's a lot of people that rely on you. From a professional capacity, there's a lot of people that look to you. And so, of course, it's okay for you to have your own wobbles, to have your own moments where you feel a little bit uncertain or in a state of anxiousness or even fear or doubt. But it's how you then return back home to that place of stillness, and you realize that what you are doing, what you are experiencing isn't a burden right now, that growth is really all there is, and that what growth means is that we are constantly breaking things. We're constantly breaking things, and it's about the expansion that comes from the things that are now stretching or feel stretched to their capacity. Here's the Tower, just really emphasizing that point. So something has to come right back to basics for you, so that you can rebuild it with a sense of resolute intention and a deliberateness. Now, the energy of this month as we move forward is going to feel like a bit of a jolt or a lurch. The reason that's happening is because we have a whole series of planets that are waking up from their slumber and their retrograde. We begin the month with a new moon in Libra coming in on the 6th, and on the same day Pluto is moving direct in your sign. So this is a time where you get serious clarity of the transformation that you've been working on. And there's this sense of you being incredibly devoted to that, almost feeling a sense of absolute knowing. This is where I want to be. This is what I'm working towards. This is why it matters. And it feels very personal. It feels very close to home. As it conjuncts with Mars, there's going to be the impetus and the energy to really make something happen this month. It's also trining with Ceres, the asteroid goddess. She's the goddess of harvest and nourishment, and she's working her way through the sign of Gemini. In fact, she's going to be going retrograde in Gemini on the 8th of this month. But here we want to accept the cycles, and what we're really nurturing is our higher mind. And what we're developing is a new sacred language. This beautiful light language, this soulful way of expressing ourselves, is so that we can evolve and ascend to a higher level of conscious connection. And the sun is really giving you the indication of when you give yourself permission to do that, and it's wrapped up in every decision that you make and every step that you take through the course of October. Then you're going to feel the charge from that. You're going to feel the lightness of it in your soul. And so what felt like a burden will now feel like this light that's streaming and pouring towards you. And that can come in particularly from a relationship perspective, because there's going to be a big emphasis on that in Libra season this month. And even with Mercury retrograde and that focus specifically on people coming back from the past, personal relationships that you have the opportunity to review, to karmically kind of clear up something in some capacity, but also to really appreciate the growth. Now, you're not missing out on anything, and you might make some conscious decisions to withdraw or to move away, or even in some aspects be forced to kind of stand to the side as you see things progressing and moving forward. You're not missing out on anything here, Capricorn. What I want to say is there's something so deeply valuable in this moment that Spirit really want you to listen into and to tune into. We can't have you betraying yourself right now just because you want to try to fit in. So when you feel like the energy is almost not going against you, but you feel like it's harder to kind of stand your ground or stay true to your values or what matters to you in the relationships that you have and the things that you want to invest and where you want to see things progressing. You know, let's remember that we are cultivating a completely new language, and therefore we are having to break something down, and that can be uncomfortable. But the Seven of Pentacles here is talking about the harvest of it. You will reap the rewards. And actually, as these planets start to shift direct, that's exactly what happens, because all of the work that we've been doing internally then starts to reveal itself in a direct physical manifestation. So later this month we have Saturn, your natural ruler, moving direct in Aquarius on the 10th. So we get to embrace the rewards of that endurance that we've been going through. And then Jupiter shifts direct in Aquarius on the 17th, delivering us of a gift here. You know, we've got a new vibrational set point in terms of our abundance. And remember, Jupiter amplifies anything that it sets its gaze on. And so in and around that time, which is also just coming up toward the Aries full moon on the 20th, you know, the energy is going to be quite fiery. That full moon, in fact, opposes Mars and is also squaring with Pluto. So it's going to feel intense. Now, you have some strength coming through there, and it's beneath the tower. So something perhaps that starts to break down, or that you know has to be completely reformed, or comes in quite unexpectedly, perhaps directly in relation to a specific partnership, relationship, or even something going on at a much deeper soul level between you and your shadow self, you know, is then having the opportunity to be acknowledged and dealt with. And you're going to start to see the strength that's emerging from you because of this. The way that you have to deal with it is giving you a spiritual backbone that is going to be significant in terms of what happens next for you in your personal journey, but also how you're meant to show up and how you're meant to serve, how you're meant to lead, how you're meant to nurture, how you're meant to be strong for other people. The universe doesn't always deliver to us when we're in that place where we really need it. You know, when we come from a state of desperation or loneliness or feeling really lost or broken. And, you know, these are the times when we want more than ever to see the signs and to be validated or to know that it's going to be okay. And so often at times we can feel like we've been abandoned, you know, or that things feel really quiet. And it's in the time when our vibration starts to lift and that we can access a different energy, that channel becomes much more open, because we're not able to receive when we're in those lower vibrational energies. And the Empress is saying here that you are going to gain control of this situation, whatever is causing this wobble. And I feel like through the course of this month, maybe in and around that full moon in Aries, or maybe slightly, as we shift into Scorpio season, there's something that might just derail you a little bit. And what we're being shown here is that, you may have that sense of like, someone's trying to pull your strings, or, there's that kind of jolt, lurching energy forward that feels like it's really disruptive to your peace and your harmony. And yet remembered everything that we talked about last month about these energy contradictions and how you were getting back on track and really resolving so many things within yourself. I need you to remember all of that. I need you to remember how far you've come and the tools that you've got available to you in that moment. Because this backbone that's being formed right now is something that is going to be required in terms of a position that you're going to be taking. That may be just because you have to be there for, a set of friends, or within the community, or, in a team area within a workplace. As we move into Scorpio season and 11th house, it's all about the way that you show up in the groups, communities and friendships that you have in your soul journey. But it's also a reminder of what your hopes and dreams are. You're going to be looking at your set of experiences through October, and they're going to take on a completely different meaning to you. And you're going to start to see how your guides have been working with you to actually shape you to be prepared and ready for something. This journey that you're on, the Six of Swords, it's personal. She is taking this by herself right now. So even though you may be surrounded by people, there's a feeling right now that what you're working through, what you've got to come to terms with, what you have to decide upon, the decisions and choices that are being put in front of you, you and only you can truly make this month, Capricorn. She's got her anchor here. She's found this safe harbor with which to drop it to, and yet she's carrying the weight of the world here. Look at these dark storm cloud energies. So there's something in the shadow. There's something that's, emerging, or that is surrounding you, that feels heavy and dense. And this is the burden that we talked about, but really it is the blessing, the sun, the harvest, the reaping. Now, there are opportunities coming your way from a professional capacity. If you have struggled or been feeling like I'm not in the right place, or it's not quite the right time in order to sort of go after something that I want, I feel like you're going to start to see the green lights and the opening up of energy so that you can feel far more confident about going after something toward the end of this month. Some of you may have no choice. The control and authoritarian nature of the Emperor coming in here, may force you to move away from something or someone. But let's also take on board his energy. He's got that cardinal steer that you have, as a Capricorn. And that cardinal energy gives you the fight and the fire and the resolute commitment to say, I'm going to see this through. You don't always get the reward instantaneously, but the investments that you are making right now, have no doubt, Capricorn, are going to yield some exceptional things for you in the coming weeks and months. And you just have to get on board with that deeper sense of trusting yourself right now, and being okay with the fact that you're going to have to invest in some things that you can't clearly see the outcome of yet. And that might also be in relationships. You may well be dealing with some people right now who have demonstrated behavior to you up to this point that has been less than desirable. There might have been some real chaos and conflict that has played out. Around that full moon, there might be an awful lot that comes to light. But remember this new language that you are speaking, that you are nurturing and cultivating, because this is what's going to make the difference in terms of how you're going to experience things moving forward. You want to be nurturing a different part of yourself. Don't spend so much time trying to figure out where someone else stands on a particular situation. Figure out why you're triggered by it. that's going to take the conversation to a new level. Your 8 of Wands is showing me communication is going to open up beautifully. Now, Mercury goes direct on the 18th. Of course, we'll have a couple of weeks of shadow energy still to deal with. But because of all of the direct nature of the other planets through the course of October, and as we move our way towards Mars coming into Scorpio, that almost challenges you to do the impossible. You know, I love that energy to just say it can't be done. Well, I'm just about to prove you wrong. And then, of course, we build up to Samhain, Halloween, when the veil is at its thinnest. Your ability to tap in and receive messages from the other side, to connect spiritually, psychically, is so strong. Now, your 8 of Wands, you know, you're really lifting off here. And I think it is because of the distance that you are allowing yourself to move away from anything that feels overly controlling, overly narcissistic, overly dominating in terms of its expression of energy towards you. You're going to need to be strong in order to do that, but I see that happening. I see you making very clear, deliberate choices for yourself at the point where you understand that the burden is in fact a blessing. Okay, so let's take a look and see how these oracle cards just want to reflect this conversation for you. The tribe. Okay, so let's talk about the fact that, first of all, we have number 8 here, and it always links in as an energy expression of self-mastery. So I really see you coming to terms with something and getting very clear and really pulling on that sense of endurance and being kind of stoic in the way that you're showing up. And, you know, I really see you as the almost the mother archetypal energy here, who's imparting this wisdom, who's sharing what she's learned, who's able to actually lead others by saying it's okay, like there is a way through this. You know, and that tribe, that soul family, that creation of community, especially in 11th house and Scorpio season, is going to make the difference to you, knowing that you're not alone, even though the choices and the decisions and the work that you have to do inherently does come from a place of almost needing to do it very personally and independently. And yet, once you've done that and then you get to share that with others, there is this sense of coming together with new people. And it's opening up your world in many ways. And it's probably for some of you not at all what you expected or anticipated at this point in your life. But nonetheless, you are where you are. And there's so much beauty and sort of revelationary energy that Spirit are working with for you that I think you're going to be experiencing some beautiful surprises through the course of this month. And not all of it is easy to receive. Not all of it is easy to receive, and we have to kind of suspend judgment sometimes, don't we? So your Moonology card here is nothing is yet set in stone, mutable moon. Interesting. Now the waves are crashing here, so if you are in a turmoil and that tower energy is around you in some capacity, it may have your emotions really all over the place if you're dealing with someone or something. And yet, you know, what you feel is the clear fixed outcome, especially in Mercury retrograde, you know, we got to revisit anything. And it's the same with all these outer planets. Now that they're moving direct, this is the time to re-engage and go back over and check in again, because what felt like a closed door might all of a sudden open up in ways you hadn't expected. And so don't look to the worst of it. Don't look to where it feels like things are getting more and more restrictive. Come back home to yourself and look at, what do I want to leave as my energy imprint and signature in this exact moment? What are the words I want to share here? How do I want to inspire myself and therefore other people? And if you can allow that sense of fluidity to flow with you through October, then when these energy jolts and lurches come in, they're not going to make you feel too displaced within yourself. They're going to help you to understand the absolute extraordinary, exquisite nature of divine timing. Even if you don't have all the answers, you're going to have enough sense of confidence from your own intuition. And this is what it's all about. What we are imparting, what Spirit is guiding you towards, Capricorn, that you need to really come into a place of peace with, is we are giving you the means and the tools to be able to trust yourself more than you ever have before. So you do not look outside of yourself for that validation or to be told this is right and this is wrong. You trust in what your body is telling you, in what the infinite intelligence and source wisdom that you receive as a download is guiding you towards. You have the power of presence, a power struggle, unlock your potential, authenticity. So this power struggle with this energy of the Emperor here, whether it does indicate a specific person or you just coming up against the establishment in some form or an authority figure, what you are doing here is kind of getting super, super clear on what you stand for, what your values are, and how you're continuing to let them be the guide for you as you move forward. And that in itself is going to reveal where your hidden potential lies. That's where your gifts are. This is where you're able to say, I can go after this. I am able to change. I am able to cope with what I have on my plate right now. New partnerships are forming as a result of this. And I think this is something that you need to feel really open to at this moment in time. There's some healing energy that's coming in quite powerfully in terms of how you think you are perceived, Capricorn, how you think you're perceived. And so the way that the universe is going to work with you this month is probably not going to make immediate sense to you, but I promise at some point through this month, you will have this moment where you're able to connect the dots, and there's a profound sense of awakening that says, all right, this makes sense to me. I understand what they've just shown me about myself. And now it's really clear. I'm not missing out on anything. In fact, I'm exactly where I need to be, because that investment in the self is everything, because growth is all there is. And from that place, I see you being honestly quite rebellious. And I think that rebelliousness is with yourself first and foremost, but it can also come through in the conversation that you're going to start to have in terms of, this is where I'm going and this is why. So this is a general reading for October, Capricorn. If you would like to join me for the extended, we are going to initially just pull a couple of cards on a question that you may have yourself that's not been answered in the main spread. So just take a little think about what that might be right now, and we'll pop some cards down to cover off in the extended for you there. Okay, so I'm just going to clarify this main reading now, just beginning with that energy of the Two of Pentacles. Bringing in the Six of Pentacles here as well, all about the balance and exchange of energy and power. And the Hanged Man here with the Star. There's always such truth that comes with the Three of Swords. You can't run or hide from what it presents as a tarot energy guide. And for many reasons, I do love that. There's just no dubiety with it. We know what we're dealing with, and it can be really refreshing in some ways just to call it out, to say it like it is, and then we can deal with it and we can find a way to move forward. You just have a lot of challenge energy this month, and you may be challenging others simply by the position that you're taking on things. And even if you are feeling challenged yourself, I think that's going to motivate you in ways that you need. So we have the Lovers coming in again with the Sun here, and the Lovers with the Three of Swords, and Strength. So you may find a situation does a bit of a full 360 turn. Don't be surprised. This is fire energy, King of Wands, Sagittarius, Aries or Leo, or certainly someone who's coming in with very riled up language. An air sign here as well. There's just a little bit of a combative thing going on around you. Do you want to get involved? You've got to really pick your battles very carefully this month, Capricorn. This might not even be your battle. New projects and inspiration coming in beautifully, like the vision that you have for something, you cannot give up. Even if you feel like you've got no resources, no way forward, no support, there's something about, the karmic weighing in, the justice and the shift of energy. you have a lot more things on your side, people, energies, then you are going to be able to feel, especially at the beginning of the month. It's not till you come out toward the end of October, Empress energy, beautiful, that you really have a sense of actually why things have ended up this way and how much it's benefited you in some regard. Okay, Capricorn, if you'd like to join me for the extended, you'll find the link in the description box, and the comment section underneath. I wish you beautiful blessings for this month. Thank you for tuning in. If you've enjoyed it, please do drop me a like and a comment. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and be sure to check out your rising and your moon sign, and across the other soul stories if you've enjoyed this. Okay, you take good care, and I'll talk to you again next month. Bye for now.